and there we will go into that a bit more deeply. Who knows this model here? What's the name? You remember? Beautiful, huh? Ikigai, huh? So there's one another of those lean terms, which is not necessarily in the OE playbook, but all the other ones are nemawashi, prepare the ground, tansei, self-reflection. Beautiful words for exactly those concepts. Ikigai is for those who do not know it yet. Another one just to keep in the back of your mind. So I will not go into the details, but just to try for a motivational standpoint, looking at it of the ideal scenario of when you are at work, if you do what you love, great, congratulations. If you do what you do and the world needs that, like maybe much easier to do if you're in a pharma company, DB, I haven't seen many companies I can blame here. Maybe I can go after the finance guys, those poor finance guys, right? I can do that. Do we really make the world a better place, right? Of course you do. I'm not saying, but there's always a Tabak. If there would be Philip Morris here or something like that, right? I could pick on them now. So it's much nicer to be a part of a company that actually does things the world really needs. The one on the bottom here, it's what you get paid for, right? We all want to get at the end of the month some of our salary. And then on the last one, what you're good at. And the magic happens if you're sort of in the middle there, if you manage somehow to just balance all those forces out, right? And what happens often, especially if you talk about entrepreneurs, they start with the stuff they love. And it doesn't even have to be entrepreneurs, midlife crisis. I go through a midlife crisis. Why do I go through a midlife crisis? I'm 45 years old and have no kids. So for all of you that get irritated about your kids because they rob you of your sleep, be grateful because it gives you at least that reason to exist, right? If you don't have those kids, I promise you will get into some other crisis just because you don't have them. So therefore, I'm having to ask myself those questions now, right? And find that purpose and try to reflect on all of that. So you go out of there or be an entrepreneur. I love to do that stuff. Yeah, you're on the extreme end of that bubble, let's say, if you would put a kind of a 5-point scale on it, right? But then what is on the other end of the spectrum? What you get paid for, right? The more you move away into the cloudy sky of what you love, the more is sometimes the risk that you don't get paid for it in monetary terms, right? And the same goes there on the extreme ends of that spectrum. That's usually not how it's sold, but I just give those to those people who sort of, look at this. That's actually an interesting perspective, right? So I'll move on as soon as